Cherry's Tech and Natalie from Coded Carbon, and we're doing a self-learning session on AWS Quick Labs, and we are going to be looking at image insertion and input switching with AWS Elemental Media Live. It's a software that deals with like media broadcasting and stuff. I think it's actually very much on brand with what we were doing earlier. So, and just double checking, it's a free lab, which is helpful. So if you guys are logged in and ready to go, we shall have a look. How you fixed? Are you ready to go, sir?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, cool. So this is about basically brief overview. So when we're streaming live events, it's common to switch between different inputs. So like if you're switching from a live stream to a pre-recorded file, that's all in the sort of overview free blurb. So we're gonna have a go at first inserting a watermark onto our piece of footage, and then we're going to add some other bits and pieces. I'm looking forward to this. So if you've read the blurb, you can scroll down to Start Lab. And is your lab ready to open? Have you got the open console on the underneath Start Lab? So
Yeah, I'm ready.
all right, so we're going to hit open console and let's go.
It's loading on my side. Estimated time 0 minutes. Provisioning lab resources.
And when it's got the open console, can you see on my screen?
Yeah, I can see on your screen.
Yeah, when it's got that and you can hit the open, let me know so that I'm not running off ahead. Like, even though you're actually quicker than me, but still, like I hate it when people do that. I found the slow down button on Zoom as well. So let me know when you hit the open console button, yeah?
Yeah. Open console.
Okay, I'm just double checking to see if there's anything that you need to download beforehand. Excuse me. No, we're good to go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go to services and then click MediaLive. So MediaLive is here, and if you're not sure, just go to the search bar and click on MediaLive. So we've opened MediaLive now, and then then it says this will take you to the MediaLive page, and then in services again. So this time, so this time we're going to go to MediaPackage. So services. So we're going to hit the services button, and in the search, we're going to type MediaPackage. But before we go any further, instead of clicking on it, we're going to right click on MediaPackage. So right click and then open the link in a new tab. So then we'll have, once it loads, we'll have MediaLive on one tab. We'll close this. So we'll have MediaLive on one tab and MediaPackage on the next is what we're aiming for here. Yeah. All right. So once we have that on the MediaLive navigation panel, we're going to click Inputs. So MediaLive. Over on the left hand side, we've got Inputs. Yeah. And that takes us to a page where we say the live stream, it's attached. We've got some information about it, the ARN number and what type of file it is. And we notice that it's attached. Okay, so that means that the input is feeding into the MediaLive channel, where it be transcoded according to the instructions in the channel. Okay. From the navigation pane on the left, select channels. Let's do that. So on the left, select channels. And if we notice, next to name, where it says state, it's got idle. It's kind of like grayed out. So it's saying that at the minute the live stream, even though it's active, like the channel itself is idle. It's not actually doing anything at the moment. So by default, it says click the name of the channel to view the channel details. In the status section, you can see that an input is attached and there are 0 pipelines running. And by default, it works in redundant mode, outputting 2 identical streams. The pipelines represent the 2 redundant outputs. They are not in a primary stroke backup relationship. Both pipelines are active. So let's do that. So we're going to click on the live stream, and then there we can see, as it said, there's 0 pipelines running. It's idle, 0 pipelines running, and there's 2 pipelines that are active, 0 and 1. So it starts at 0, and then along here there's some information, again, the ARN number, the role ARN that you'd attach to it for your access, like the needed access. There's a whole list, I'm sure, but they'll take us through. But let's go through. So we're going to click start. Ooh, I'm excited. So over on the top right hand side, orange button, start. Ooh. Okay, and I can see that it's changed from idle to starting. The channel is now starting. After approximately 2 minutes, it will change to running. So that basically it's saying that at that point it'd be like ingesting the input and encoding it. Note there are 2 pipelines running, indicating that the channel is running normally. So once it's running, we'll have a look here. And with these things, it's like a whole channel, you know, like, don't you think that's dope? Like, you could actually have a channel running and streaming what you needed to it. Like, that's actually kind of cool. I'm so tempted to try and reload this, but it's like, it's literally 2 minutes. Right, we're going to click the destinations tab in the meantime. So we've got some information here about the destinations, the endpoints. You've got the source IPs. You have the information about that. You've got the pipeline destinations 0 and 1. And then it asks about the media packages and ID destinations. That isn't configured at the moment. Aha! So now we can see our channel state is running. Got 2 pipelines running, and they're both active, as we can see. But there's nothing running through them at the moment. So it says click the destinations tab. In the destinations, we'll see that there are 2 pipeline destinations, MediaLive channels are redundant by default that point to MediaPackage. So as we saw, both active. Okay, so they both point to MediaPackage. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, you can see it there, MediaPackage, US West, and again here, MediaPackage. Alright, cool. So next it says, navigate to the MediaPackage console you opened earlier. So the second tab, MediaPackage. In the channels section under ID, click the link of the MediaPackage channel. Let's try that. So under channels, click the link of the channel. Just make sure that I've got, okay. See, I want to nosy in here, so there's a lot of possible info. Let me just double check. MediaPackage channels. Yeah, channels. Is that this bad boy here? That's one. And that's the second one. The endpoints, right? A MediaPackage endpoint is a location where the video segments are coming from. Right, there's two ways to check it. We can click play, click the play of the link, or in the endpoint section on the URL, highlight and copy the URL and paste into an internet browser. So I'm going to have a go at doing that. So I'm going to highlight the URL, right click, copy, go into another browser. Hold on, what does it say to do? Right, I'm using Chrome. So for myself, so basically, if you're on Safari, you copy that browser, that URL, and then paste. If you're on Safari, paste the URL into a Safari browser and play. If you're on Microsoft Edge, paste the URL into the address bar and select Enter. And if you're on Chrome or another browser, there's a app called JPlayer Stream Tester. So you click the link. So this is the tester here. And in this segment here, you'll paste your channel's URL, your file's URL, and then hit test stream. This file cannot be played. Right, I've copied the wrong thing then, haven't I? Is it the second one? Let's see. Maybe. No, it's neither of those. So I've copied something wrong here. Hold on. It says in the channel section under ID, click the link of the MediaPackage channel. Oh, maybe it means there, endpoints. It's this one. Okay, so you click on the actual channel and then scroll down to endpoints. And so you can either preview it by playing here. Okay, that's what it's on about. Or you can copy this link, this URL here, paste that into it, and hopefully there we go. Okay, so now we can see that we have a stream. So this is our stream at the moment. It's got no sound, but that's quite fine. I'm sure there's more stuff for us to do. So now that we've got that, so that's our link. So we've got that. Okay, cool. So task 2, we're ready. So we're going to insert a static image into the live stream, or what's known as a video overlay. And what we're going to do, or what we're going to be doing, is overlaying this AWS Elemental logo. So let's see. Right, if it's created while the channel's running, time starts have to be at least 15 seconds in the future. So like, I guess this is useful, say if you were streaming live footage and you're like, okay, we're going to cut to down the road where the incidents happened, but you have to do at least 15 seconds in the future. It's a small time frame, but it just gives you that extra, like if it's both at the same time, it's just like, nah, that's like, there's not enough lead-in time. So let's have a go. Right, so for the next step, we need the task. In the task resolution of your input, it's going to be 1920 by 1080. I believe that's pixels. So alright, we need to navigate to MediaLive, and we're going to click schedule, right, and we're going to click create. Hold on. Create. So what we're going to do is we're going to schedule something to happen to our live. So the action name is insert AWS logo. The start type is fixed. So okay, so that's already the default. The action type is static image activate, and the URL is here. Let's copy this while we're here. The action type static image activate. Let's see. Static image activate from the drop down list. And then the URL is the URL that we copied from here. And then layer, leave blank. Image X and image Y, leave blank. Opacity is leave blank, default is 100%. Width is 1920 and height is 1080. Width is 1920 and height 1080. And I think that's it for now. Let me just double check. But it's not though. Duration, leave blank. Fade in is 1000, which is 1000 milliseconds. Fade in is 1000. Fade out, leave blank. Fade in is 1000, and it's, if you're not sure, you can click on the info and it will tell you the time is in milliseconds for the image to fade in. The fade in starts at the time of the overlay. Default is 0, no fade in. Awesome. So let's see. Right, we need to scroll back up to the time UTC field. The static image will be inserted at a UTC time that you specify. To get the correct time, the UTC time, search the internet for UTC time display, they have a link here, which is time https time.is/UTC. I'm going to use that one, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it smaller so I can then, so UTC is coordinated universal time. So in the UK, well, we've got 1236 because it's +1 at the moment. Anywho, so we scroll back up to UTC, and remember, when we put the time in, you have to put it 15 seconds from when you want to start. So for instance, I would put like 11, maybe 37 or 38 for me here, so that will give enough time for it to roll in. 11, let's say 37:01, and then hit create. If you haven't left enough lead-in time, there's missed the deadline. So if you haven't done it, it will come up, so you need to make it double check the time again. So I need to put that at, I need to change that to 38 and hit save, and hopefully this time, right, there's a schedule now inserted. Does that make sense? So because because the second time I inserted the schedule, it was a minimum of 15 seconds after I've created that schedule. It now gives it enough time to sync up with itself and run it. If, excuse me, with less than 15 seconds, it won't work. So let's see. And then in 15 to 120 seconds later, so 45 seconds to 120 seconds later, we should be able to go to our playback. And as we can see, that is so cool. We can see that our logo has been inserted onto our live stream. Dope. I just think that's cool. All right. They look really happy out there. So next we're going to make the static image fade out. So I know that's a title, so I'm going to copy it. So next we're going to go to MediaLive. We're already in schedule, and we're going to create an action. This time the action name is fade out the AWS logo. So we faded it in before. The start type is fixed. The action type is static image deactivate. Let's do those. I'll do them bit by bit. So start is fixed. Static image deactivate. So the first one we did was static image activate. So next we're doing static image deactivate. The layer leave blank, and I believe the fade out. Yeah, layer leave blank. If you had superimposed layers, you could specify which to fade out, but the fade out is going to be 1000, and so 1000, and remember from last time it's in milliseconds. So remember we have to set our time in the UTC. So I think if I set it to 11:40:30, that should be enough time, I think. We'll try it 11 my time 40. I can't remember where I was. It's alright to go back and check. See, it's already 11:41. See, I'm too slow. So let's do 11:42 0, and for some reason I just do like that little 01 there and hit create. So now we have a second schedule, and it's 45 to 120 seconds. If I hit refresh, oops, no, that's not the right one. Hold on, let me get my URL back. And let's test the stream. So here we've got our logo in, which is like 1000 milliseconds, which is like hardly anything, but it's in there now, and we should see it fade out. And I think the thing is like to just have the patience to like, there you go, and it's faded out. It works. I am so gassed about that. Like, I don't know about anyone else. That just made me really, really happy. So we know that works. Dope. So it will fade out at the specified time. You'll see the result in the playback window. 15. Okay, awesome. Okay, the other thing is scheduled actions cannot be edited or modified after we create them. If we need to change something in the settings, we need to like basically delete it and recreate it. So we are going to use the select box, and we're going to delete one of the actions. Yeah. So let's do that. So I'm gonna would make sense to delete the fade out, because if I delete the insert, it means the logo will no longer be there, so it wouldn't matter if the fade out. So let's delete this one. Schedule actions, delete one action. Here, do you want to delete it, fade out that action? Yes. And as you can see, it's there. And if you want to switch to the timeline view, it gives you also a timeline as well. So it's telling you along this timeline that the static image will either activate, or it will tell you along the timeline whatever it is that you scheduled in. Yeah, and you can switch back to the list view. Okay, so next we've done that. So next we're going to switch between multiple inputs. So now we're getting to the more juicier part of this segment. So we've experimented with inserting like a logo that basically fades in and then also fades out. Now we're going to get a little bit more technical, so just be patient with yourself, take your time. I find it's really good to just like sometimes read over something to make sure you've got the right instruction, because well, I am just so tempted to like rush ahead because I find it exciting, but it's good to just take that little bit of extra time. Okay, and they're saying that typical use cases can be for switching between live action and pre-recorded content, switching among live streams from different venues, running a playlist of pre-recorded files. You know, imagine a boxing match or a football game, something like that. I think, is it the World Cup that's on at the moment, or there's a football or for soccer, and football or soccer is happening, some sort of tournaments happening at the moment. So that would be a use case also. All right, let's get started. So on the left pane, we're going to click inputs. Let's have a butcher's cook, which is for look. Why that's important, I don't know. And then we're going to click create input. Hold on, let me copy this. We're going to click create input. What we there's so there's different. So what we click our file is an MP4, so we're going to select the MP URL. So MP4, and then for input source A and B, we're going to copy that URL. We're going to paste that URL. So it says on the A URL and input URL. This here, put it there, and then we're going to click create. Created. Good. We're going to see, right, it's there. Love. Going to go to input. We're going to create another. Create input. This time we're going to this bad boy here, so I'll copy that. Before. So let's go and get. Normally these input sources will be different, but just because it's a lab, if I think for simplicity, they've asked us to use the same one. So input source A, we're going to paste that URL, and input source B, we're going to paste that URL, and we're going to create. Good. It's doing it. Just wait for in the meantime, we'll go back and copy the name. Right. Okay. So there. We're going to go to inputs. Put. Paste the name. Oops. Nope. That wasn't it, was it? This one. Okay, I hadn't highlighted it properly. That's why, remember when I said it's good to double check? It's MP4. File types here. So have you double check that, but for the purposes of this, files are MP4s. Let's and get a URL link, which is this bad boy here. And then we scroll down and click create. And last one, I believe. Yeah, is that all four? 3 of them. Yeah, you'll create 3 additional inputs. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so let's double check then. Let's go to inputs and see. Okay, cool. So we've got 3 additional inputs and they're detached at the moment, but not for long. Not for long. Right, so now we're going to attach those multiple inputs to the channel. So the navigation pane on the left, click channels. Right, so we know that we want, which is the little blue tick box to the left of the channel name, up, because we don't want to create and just in case there's a mistake or a problem, and because remember we've got that lag, there should be like maybe to attach something to it. So it's saying that it's stopping at the moment. So let's see what to do next. Wait for the channel, which is approximately 60 seconds, and then you're going to click channel actions and edit channel. Let's check. Right, it's idle. Awesome. Channel actions, edit channel. Nice. In the channel section, we're going to click channel input and details. Channel input, which we have. We're going to, it says, I believe we're going to use the existing role name starting with MediaLive role. We got that here? Yes. And there's the role. Awesome. In the channel section, next attachments, click add, then configure. So first we're going to do one of the additional, so here on the left we'll click add, and it says choose an input. If you click on here, so you know the files that we had that weren't attached, they're listed, files are listed here, but you can't attach one that's already attached. The ones that aren't attached are live. So we're going to pick timbers. It tells us where the input sources are. Let's see. And then under general input settings, we're going to set source end behavior to loop. Oh. Confirm. Under general input settings, source end behavior, we're going to change that to loop. Right. Okay, then repeat the previous step to attach the remaining inputs to the channel. Okay. Right, so then we're going to go again to add. If you can see now that timbers is in the input attachments along with the live. We're going to choose an input, and this time we're going to select Bonnet. Scroll down and confirm. We're going to change the end behavior to loop, and we is under the attachment. So we've got one more to do. Okay. Internet connection seems fine. See, I don't want to hit edit. Let me do update channel. Oh, I could have some patience. See, sometimes patience. Okay, very good, very good. I said that from the beginning, didn't I? It's still a Mercury retrograde, and that's fine. Our last input to attack and on source end behavior, hit loop. So now you can see that our input attachments is the live stream plus the 3 files we just uploaded. And now we're going to hit update channel. So we stopped the channel, we added the files to the channel, and then we've updated the channel here. So next, we start, excuse me, just like before, and then hit start. So it's currently saying that it's idle. There you go. And now it's telling us that it's starting it. That's fine. And then wait for it to show that it's running. So let's check. Again, this is where patience is a virtue, but what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to hit our test stream or refresh it. I do anyway, and then on I was kind of nervous about this part. I guess it's the excitement. Once again, I can't wait. There's no refresh button on this one, so it is it's running. Awesome. Okay, now that it's running, let's go back and test it. Ooh, let's test. So it's what we had before, but this feels slightly different now. It's refreshing. Okay, see there we have our Elemental logo. Now, so it's just there. That looks actually really nice. To be on the beach right now would be absolutely awesome. It's very grey in England right now. Oh, and them strawberries look good. Yeah, man, I'll control that bowl of strawberries right there. Alright, come on then. Are we gonna see anything different? That you look very comfy in your camper van, and that's dope. Let's see. It should be like a minute duration. We've seen that already, isn't it? Patience is a virtue. No, that's happened already. So let's see. Because we updated the channel. Alright, let's try it this way, Patience. Because it's like we can't move it along. Okay, maybe there's something else we need to do. Alright then. Alright, you guys enjoy your lunch. Back to business. On the channels page, click the name of the channel to view the channel details. And then click the schedule tab. Here's a bit that we're missing because we have to schedule something to happen. Okay. So see about that impatience and double checking. Mercury retrograde. No, that's right. It was right. You click the channel that we wanted, and we're going to hit schedule. We're going to create a new schedule. We haven't scheduled anything to happen. That's why we were watching the same link over and over again. The one that we put in. Okay. All right. I got you. So now, we're going to schedule an action setting. So something to happen. We want to action name is switch to Timbers, which I copied and pasted from the lab. Start type is fixed. Action type is input switch. Fixed action type is input switch. And then the input attachment is then Timbers. So we're telling it that we want to switch Timbers while it's playing, but we have to make sure that the time is at least 15 seconds later. Oh, 12:05, sorry. Yeah. I'm going to try 12:05 and a oops, and hit create. It's later than 15 seconds. Right, let's test this out that it works. So the end of the original link is when they like drive up the little sand duny bit, isn't it? Okay, they started at the beginning. I think. No problem. usually between 45 seconds or 120 seconds or 2 minutes later. Yeah, after it drives up here is the end. We see we have got our input switch that we scheduled. We know it works, and we said it was about the full season. Come on, my legs! Yes, 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 yes. All right, so we know that works. We was able to schedule which was Timbers. So, yeah. So we're going to also do the same thing with Motorcross and Bunny. Also, it's between all of them. If you feel like you've got it the first time, if you feel like you want to just like have a go, just have a go, like action, basically. So we're going to create a schedule. We're going to paste the name, switch to Motocross. Input switch, and gonna switch to Motocross, and we're gonna check the UTC 1207. Let's see if I can get it in time. Or create. I think yeah, easy peasy. Yeah, that was it. Ooh, antsy pants. 12. 30. I think I made a bit of a sour zero of that, isn't it? Right, let's try that again. I didn't leave enough time. Sorry. So I'm going to start that action again. Switch to Motocross. Input switch. Motocross. This time I'm going to leave it. I'm actually at the studio, so we're going to do 12:10. Which will leave plenty of time to get it done. That's the one. And then there's a switch to now that we know how we went wrong. Not so being efficient but patient, like it's better. We're going to switch to Bunny this time. Action type switch, and then it's going to be Mr. Bunny or Miss Bunny, whichever you prefer. It to 12:11. That should give us enough time to schedule Yes, we do. Okay, so now should test the stream. It and play.
Riley Garrison, your leader in the intermediate class on that big number 3 JMR suspension, Motorsport Hill. Not it, but keep.
So we can see
very honest. Here they come.
we started off with our Motorcross.
Here on lap number 2.
That looks. My internet seems to be a bit laggy.
Up over Lampier's lead, throwing the bike sideways. Keeping it low to the ground. You got to get the power to the ground. It's still knotted. Down on the pro rider.
And then there's Miss. Look like he had a good sleep, quick in neck. Can you have a bit of cue if you're scratching your bum in public, Mr. Bunny? Down. That's the last image on a loop. So cheers. Excuse me, I have a feeling of put the wrong thing in, but that's fine. We get the idea, and that's cool. So let's go to the next step, where we're going to create and run a playlist using multiple. And for this one, we're going to modify the end behavior of the inputs. So in the previous task, we set the source end behavior to loop. So as you could see, especially on the last video, which was the bunny, it was looping. But behavior will be changed so that when the file is finished, it will not be the beginning. So again, immediately got this now. I'm going to click stop to stop the channel from running. In a second, it's going to say stopping. There we go. It's going to say idle. When it says idle, we're going to click channel action. So we're just going to be very patient and wait for it to stop. Are you getting on so far? Was you able to make the clip switch? So hello. I'm sure jump in. Idle. So we are going to go to channel actions and select edit channel. let's do that first. I know there's temptation to make it right. Channel section under input attachments, select the first input. Under general input settings, source and behavior, continue. Let's see. So here's our general source and behavior. I'm going to put continue. Under the continue setting, the file will start playing when the end is reached. This is necessary to follow for the follow function in the schedule which we're going to create. Okay. So we're going to basically click on each input and change the source and behavior from loop to continue. So we did the first one, so now we're going to click on Timbers and we're going to change this source and behavior to continue also for Mr. Bunny, and same for Motorcross. Going to continue. Then we're going to scroll down and hit update the channel. So just like before, we stopped the channel, made any edits to the input, and then it's my belief we're going to hit some schedules first. Right, we're going to click the schedule tab and clear the list of all actions. Right, so we're going to clear all the old actions. So if we select, use the button at the top, we'll select all, and then in schedule actions we're going to delete 4 actions. Scratch, I believe, or schedules. So the first one will be action name. So we're going to go ahead, a schedule action called start playlist. Excuse me. Its settings are the start type is fixed, and type is input switch, and then the input attachment is a live stream. It's fixed. Action type, I can't remember. And then the is a, so what we're saying is, first we want to start the playlist off. Remember, we won't be able to do anything until we set that UTC time to a minimum of 15 seconds ahead. So I'm going to set it to 21 just to be 12, 21 to give me enough time. It works based 21 and a little change. Or So we are going to create and then configure, switch to Timbers, but this time the start type is not fixed. It's going to be follow. So what we want is to schedule Timbers to follow the previous clip, if that makes sense. Reference action name, select the input that is that this new one will follow. So basically, reference action name, the only one at the moment is start playlist. We want to follow the start, and the action type, we just check, and then the attachment is Timbers, and then we're going to click create. You can leave it there, but I like to that I learned about. Oops, you know what I didn't do, or did I? Let me see something. No, it didn't ask for. That's fine. So I'll create. Switch to Motorcross. Follow. Once you change from fixed, which is where you put the UTC number into follow, you're just saying that once the previous, like you want your clip that's now scheduling now to follow the previous clip. So we're going to follow the switch to Timbers, and the follow is at the end of Timbers. Switch to Timbers is when we're going to switch to Motorcross. Action type is an input switch, and switch to Motorcross. There we go. And we're going to hit create, and then the last one is so create, action name, switch to Bunny, and the fix to Bunny is going to follow switch to Motorcross. Action type is it's Bunny, and we're going to hit create. Going to start our channel again now that we've updated it. Wait for it to say that it's running. Starting. And then once it's started, once it's running, we'll go to our media player and just check to see what we've just scheduled to happen and to see how they play out. I'm excited. That's the part I really love going to see, to be honest. It's like, okay, I mean, on a very simplistic level, even though a lot of the behind the UI or the user interface, it's obviously a managed service where AWS does most of the heavy lifting. But to be able to schedule, there it's running. Let's go to schedule this and see what's happening. Just waiting. So we're going to test the stream again. Should be. No, I don't like that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to MediaPackage. I'm going to copy the link again. I'm going to paste it because I don't think it was playing from the beginning, or maybe it is. Alright, let's try this. I'm going to actually refresh the player itself. Now it sounds like, looks like it might be doing something. Right, be patient. Well, in a second, the only thing I can think of is I wonder if it's. No, you can't change it. So what's going on? Here at all. It says the channel's running. I'm thinking that it might be here, but you cannot. Let me see. No, it's right. Fixed input switch. Several minutes in the future. Okay. So I see what the problem is. Okay, and it's been the same thing the whole time, which is don't be rushy, because what happened is I didn't set this far enough in the future to give myself the show it and the 3 corresponding 3. Huh? Right, so I've got to start again basically. Because times in, all of them are going to be deleted. So okay. And you also need to stop the channel to create an edit. Yeah. Rushing is no good, you know. Okay, let's create a schedule. So this time we have to make sure for the first one, that's the bit I remember when I said read it over. I don't know if anybody else did that or that just because I was like in my overexcitement and exuberance. So it's fixed. So you need to give it like 4 minutes. Okay, let's try it again. Start type is fixed. Input which we want to add the live stream to create the live stream. Let's say 12:38 to give ourselves enough time. That gives me 5 minutes. 37. The next one is switch to timbers. So create timbers. This time the start time type is follow. We want to follow, start the playlist, action type, then switch, timbers, create. Create. This time switch to Motorcross. Follow. Then switch just make sure that the file name matches the action name. That's really helpful also. And then create the last one, which is switch to Bonnie. Should be okay because the first one is in enough time. Input switch to Bonnie and hit create. Awesome. Now we've got those in there, hopefully in the right order, we should be able to restart back the channel, which is currently idle. And then refresh the link in the video player. We're nearly at the end. But that's a really beautiful example of why you shouldn't rush and double check the instructions. Like the temptation, I was really tempted to run along and whole thing again. Okay, our channel is now running. Test stream now. Fingers crossed. Oh, Dave. But it's at, so it's in the future. Are you tired, bruv? Go. Okay. So at this point, fingers crossed, is what we should see is at the end of this clip where the minibus drives up the little sand dune thing. Ah, awesome. So here's where I should be doing commentary if I was into football. And he passes, and he... I think the team's tired. And we have an automatic switch to the Motorcross. So we can see that our schedule is working. Once we literally just follow the instructions
class on that big number 3 JMR
and
suspension motorsport Hillsboro
put the schedule in.
Is your leader in the intermediate, elusively chasing Brad Notted, but keeping him very honest. Here they come through the fast turns. Garrison on pace with Notted here on lap number 2. over Lampier's lead. Ways. You got to get the power to the ground. Not it. Garrison, about a 2-second deficit on the pro rider.
Awesome. I feel like Mr. Bunny without the tired bit. And no, I won't be scratching my bum in public, because that's just not what you do. And sniffing the... That's the work we've been doing. The magic of what we've been doing. And that was lunch calling, and because I made a rush and then had to like start again. And then shut up and eat my food and understand that I had to do it again because of that rush. So like that was just awesome. Yeah, it was a really just like basic, really quick and lab of how to insert an image and make images switch in AWS. Oh, the service. I haven't got the... It was AWS Elemental Media Live, and also AWS Elemental Media. Okay, we don't want that. We don't need to do that. Thank you. Elemental Media Live and AWS Elemental MediaPackage. We had a look at the way the two of them work together. So when I said that there's some basically under the bonnet or under the hood coding and stuff that's happening, but where AWS demoing, so there's a bit that's in. So cloud formation was just so Elemental Media Live connected to Media Live to Elemental Media Package to CloudFront that pushes it to the CloudFront, and then to wherever around the world that people are accessing content. Can you, for instance, use case scenario, I'm going to end the lab here because it has ended. Thank you. Imagine so that Sai and I were running a teaching school, like teaching. We actually in our respective parts of the world and deliver segments, but have where we have scheduled them to follow each other, beginning, intro, middle, end, nice little outro, but it could all be done in the cloud, which I think is absolutely, to be honest, like the possibilities are endless. So I'd like to say a huge thank you to Sai, Smart Cherries Tech, for having me. I've been your sister Natalie from Cody Carbon, and that has been like I found that fascinating, to be truthfully honest with you. So absolutely
Yeah, thank you very much, Natalie, Carbon Coden, for the collaboration and for the beautiful explanation. So I have like 2 to 3 questions. So where
Hmm.
do we use this service, and what is the importance of this service?
So for the use case that I saw is for like down the line where Coded Carbon is somewhere where like we go to teach like the basics of like the AWS cloud and whatnot. I think it would be really cool to be able to put together both elements of like where we case, but also having like pre-recorded video that we can insert and schedule to say, okay, so this is excuse me, our classroom where we're live streaming. I don't know, we were able to go to the AWS for etc etc. Do you see what I mean? Like for me, I could see that like in an educational setting. A reporter could be going live from say, I don't know, Australia, and the desk is in, I don't know, Arkansas, and they are streaming live data too, but then they might cut away to somebody else. So somebody could be in Melbourne, somebody could be in Sydney, and then because there's I don't know, say a massive festival in, so they could cut to different lives of different parts of the country, but then be beaming it live. So that's a use case. I think it was in terms of media, in terms of Smart Cherries tech. I mean, my God, the possibilities are endless, international now. So, say if you had a conference where, I mean, all these amazing people that you've been connecting with over the years. So, like, you could literally have a conference where, okay, one person that's a developer, one person that's an architect, and you could in a way to the different people in different countries where the what they do is individual, but it ties in under either the AWS umbrella or under like the tech umbrella, but just different aspects of it, but following the trajectory. You could go like who's an architect like yourself to some DevOps to assist ops. Do you see what I mean? Like you could actually have a conference where you do cutaways to people like individual TED Talk countries, which that might be something like where you in real time and are able to stream them. Like I could see that, like that'd be an amazing use case for it. So absolutely, like I found it fascinating, like because I like media, and you know, for yourself, you know, you've got your podcast, you've got your YouTube, your like, you know, multiple different put like great way to connect possibly footage from different streams or I think that it's a really good tie-in, especially with what like in the two different screens at the same time. It's like basically what you just amped it up, or just basically AWS's version of doing that, where you've managed to find a way to do that yourself. This is like an AWS managed service that allows you to do that. It's building on that innovation that you've had, where you can actually do something where you've been doing this in what they'd say in manual, and then switching to the AWS would be like literally would be automatic for you, then driving in automatic as opposed to so dope, really.
Awesome. So yeah, the world is. I believe that world is a collection of so many colors, and you and me comes under that category, and I'm sure we make world look more beautiful with the contribution and with the energies that we have, and like these kind of collaborations. And I feel very uh, very happy to to learn from you. At the same time, many people from many countries uh, are going to watch these videos and are going to learn from Natalie, the carbon coded carbon. She's a very good uh, she's very good in explaining the AWS services. I'm sure in coming days also there are a lot of people are going to come to my show from Microsoft, who are working in Microsoft and who are working in AWS, who are already into the industry, IT industry for a long time, like 15 to 20 years. And I have those videos are coming up. Tomorrow I have a video with a person who works in Microsoft in the headquarters, US, Seattle.
Dope,
Yeah.
dope.
So yeah, I'm sure this explanation of yours will reach him, and the the coded carbon reaches even US and to New Zealand, everywhere, and it's very powerful what we are doing. So it's fantastic thing that I'm learning from it, and you're revising what you know already.
And the tone and go to explain it to somebody else, because it's ultimately that thing of, you know what, it's amazing that you know to be communicating that is really one ahead, and I'm showing you what to do. And so I think learn and the platform is absolutely awesome. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've built something really beautiful and something that's going to be useful to a lot of people. You know, for people like myself who, again, didn't think that it was something that, or in a field that was even possible. Actually, accessibility, it feels. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. It is extraordinary. Without being in IT field, you are being extraordinary than the people who are already into the IT field.
Which is also, it's an honor. It's very hard to be. I learn each time, you know, and it's one of the beautiful things about this field is that there's always something to learn. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I think it's just consistent learning and growth, innovation, just ways to do things and communicate. And you know, it's really beautiful that we can utilize this technology to be able to do so. You know, and I'm at the start of the journey. I mean, gosh, you
True.
like know your stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, in such a huge way. Like, you're like a mentor for me. So it's like, wow. So for us to be able to be in the same space and be learning and growing as well, like, it's huge. It's huge. That for someone else is powerful. Absolutely.
Yeah, what you said is true. It is very important as for the people in this field to be consistent, to be continuous learner, to be focused every day. You know, there is a lot of thing uh, to learn, even whatever you learned till today. So I hope we do this continuously until the day we reach where we wanted.
And I'm enjoying it, and it's helping me to remain focused on my studies. Like, my brain's doing this thing at the moment where it's like, you really, like, okay, now it's time to start procrastinating. But I'm like, no, actually, this is like a real anchor point, and it's like, I don't ever want to get to a Tuesday where I haven't done anything, studied anything. I always want to be able to bring something to it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really, really on so many growth and the consistency. That's I've got a very divergent brain, so the consistency part is an anchor point. I'm breaking up. Can you hear?
Yeah. Actually, the voice is not very clear, but
Is it
still,
breaking?
yeah. Yeah, it's
Oh,
breaking.
okay. I think it might be I don't know whether it's a lot of rain we've been having, or it just could be just tired. I don't know, but
No. I can't hear you
saying that,
properly. It is your voice is breaking in the middle. So I'm trying to observe it.
oh, I do apologise. I was just saying that Tuesdays are like a really, and I really appreciate it. I think maybe it's a good point to wrap it up for this week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. So yeah, thank you. I think there's a audio problem at last. So, but still, I got you. You're saying that Tuesday is very good day. It's a productive day. It's a constructive day for you to do
Mhm.
something very good, which is very important. So I can understand that. So let's meet again next week, Natalie. With a new concept. I hope you'll become completely cure. Uh, uh, you'll become active, and I hope you'll have the great week.
Thank you so much, sir, and I hope you have an amazing week. Also, see you next week. All right, boss.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, can I put this audio and video clip on my YouTube channel?
Yes, of course, of
Yeah,
course.
on social media, internet, podcast, website, everywhere with your permission.
Yes, of course.
Awesome. So I'm waiting for our interview that you took for your podcast. I'm waiting for it, and I'm sure when you once you publish, let me know. I'll share it with my audience.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I will.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Take care.
all right. Thank
Bye.
you.